Welcome to another deep dive today. We're going to be exploring nature journaling.
Ooh, sounds intriguing.
Yeah, it is actually. Our main source today is a blog post.
Okay.
It's called 50 Nature Journaling Prompts, and it's from a company called Lestallion.
A company I'm not familiar with.
Yeah, they actually make journals.
Ah, okay. So maybe a little biased, but
Yeah, maybe.
we'll see.
But their prompts seem really interesting, all about, slowing down, appreciating those little details,
Uh-huh.
connecting with nature, getting those thoughts and feelings down.
Seems very mindful.
Yeah, exactly. It's like taking that pause from the everyday rush
Right.
and rediscovering, I don't know, that childlike sense of wonder that we often lose.
I love that.
So are you ready to jump into some of these prompts and see what they, spark in us?
Absolutely. I'm always looking for new ways to connect with nature. Let's do it.
Okay, so the first section we're going to look at is called Observing Your Surroundings. And one prompt that really jumped out at me was this. Describe the patterns you see in the leaves of a tree nearby. How do they change as the light moves through them? I don't know about you, but I rarely stop and think about those designs in nature.
It's true. We often take those intricate details for granted, don't we? I mean, when was the last time you really looked at the veins of a leaf?
Right.
The way they branch out and connect. It's amazing.
And there's actually some science behind this too. Apparently, focusing on natural patterns can actually reduce stress hormones.
Oh, wow. So it's like a form of mindful meditation, but with real, tangible benefits?
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so this next prompt kind of takes it a step further. It says, focus on a single flower and observe its colors, shapes, and textures. As you capture this flower in your journal, what feelings stir within you?
It's amazing how something as simple as a flower can evoke such a wide range of emotions.
I know.
Right? Color itself has a profound impact on our emotional state.
Mhm.
And then you add the gentle curve of a petal, the velvety texture of a stem, all those details. It really awakens something within us.
It makes me think of how a particular scent can sometimes transport you back in time.
Oh, absolutely. Our sense of smell is so powerful.
Yeah. And speaking of which, let's move into the connecting with the seasons section. There's a prompt here that asks, how does the air smell at this time of year? Write about the scents you notice and what they mean to you.
I love that. The smell of spring rain, autumn leaves, even just a snowy day, each one triggers such a flood of memories.
It's like each season has its own unique scent signature.
It does. And this prompt encourages you to not only identify those scents, but to really explore how they make you feel, what memories they unlock, like building a sensory journal of the year.
I love that idea. And speaking of the year unfolding, nature's constantly changing, right?
Yeah.
This next prompt kind of highlights that. It says, observe how plants and trees prepare for the upcoming season. What changes do you notice in their colors, textures, or growth patterns? It's so easy to overlook those subtle shifts.
It is. But when you start paying attention, you realize that nature's always in a state of preparation, adapting and evolving. It's actually a whole field of study called phenology. Have you ever heard of that?
I have not.
It's fascinating. It's the study of these cyclical natural phenomena. And by journaling your observations, you're actually contributing to this citizen science effort.
So we're not just passively observing.
Right.
We're actually becoming active participants
Exactly.
in understanding the natural world.
You got it.
Wow. This deep dive is already making me appreciate the depth and complexity of nature journaling.
It's so much more than just writing in a notebook, isn't it? It's about cultivating a deeper connection with nature, with ourselves, with the world around us. And as we'll see with the next set of prompts, it can also be a powerful tool for unlocking creativity and self-discovery.
I can't wait to explore those. But for now, let's take a pause and let our listeners absorb all these amazing insights.
Sounds good. Welcome back. I'm excited to keep exploring these nature journaling prompts.
Me too. And it looks like this next section in our source material, Engaging Your Senses, is all about, really tapping into those senses.
Yeah. It's not just about observing nature, it's about experiencing it with our whole being.
Totally. This prompt really stood out to me. Close your eyes and breathe in. What scents do you detect? Describe how they make you feel and what memories they might bring up. It's amazing how scent can just transport you back to a certain time and place.
It's like you're creating your own personal scent library of nature.
Oh, I like that.
And speaking of sensory exploration, this next one's all about touch. Run your hand through the grass. How does it feel? Describe the textures and the sensations they create.
Ooh, yeah.
Just imagining that cool softness.
I know, right? It's like this reminder to slow down and be present in the moment. To notice those subtle sensations we often miss.
Absolutely. And there's another prompt that takes this idea of touch even further. Touch a leaf or a piece of bark. Write about how it feels against your fingers. Is it rough, smooth, or something in between?
I love that.
It's incredible how many different textures exist in nature.
It really is.
The smooth surface of a polished stone, the rough bark of a pine tree, even the delicate fuzz on a flower petal. Each one tells a story.
Okay, this next prompt kind of threw me for a loop. Pay attention to the taste of the air. Is it salty by the sea, fresh in the mountains, or earthy after a rain? Write about this sensation. I never really thought about the taste of air before.
It's not something we usually consider, but yeah, the air does have these subtle flavors.
Mm.
The salty tang of the ocean, the crispness of mountain air, the earthy aroma after a rainstorm. It adds a whole new dimension to our nature journaling.
It really does. I love how these sensory prompts
Mm.
encourage us to kind of expand our awareness and experience nature in a more holistic way. Like we're using all our senses to paint this richer picture of the world around us.
Exactly. And speaking of expanding our perspective, let's move on to the Discovering Wildlife section, where we shift our focus to, the other creatures that share our planet.
I love observing animals in their natural habitat. It's such a privilege to just witness their behavior and appreciate their adaptations.
It is. And these prompts invite us to become more mindful observers, to notice details we might otherwise miss. For example, watch a bird for a few minutes. What colors do you see on its feathers, and how does it move from branch to branch? You can learn so much.
It's like a mini wildlife documentary.
It is.
Okay, this one really caught my eye. Imagine the perspective of a small animal, like a squirrel or a rabbit. Write about what it might see and experience in its day.
I'm not sure I love that prompt. While it encourages imagination, it might be more powerful to simply observe the animal's behavior and try to understand its motivations based on what you actually see.
Yeah, that's a good point. It's about grounding our imagination in reality and developing that deeper understanding of the animal's world.
Exactly. And sometimes, those unexpected animal encounters can be so powerful, like this prompt. Write about a time you encountered a wild animal unexpectedly. How did you feel in that moment?
Ooh, yeah.
Those moments can be so magical.
They really can.
A deer in the woods, a hummingbird in your garden, even a curious squirrel approaching you on a park bench. Those are the encounters that stay with you.
They remind us that we're part of this larger ecosystem,
Right.
sharing this planet with all these other creatures.
It's a humbling and enriching experience.
Totally agree. As we've been kind of going through these prompts, it struck me that nature journaling isn't just about recording observations. It's about reflection, too.
Exactly. It's about connecting those observations to your own thoughts, feelings, and experiences. And that leads us perfectly to the final section, finding inspiration in nature, where we delve into the deeper meanings and insights that we can glean from our time in the natural world.
This prompt is beautiful. Write about a natural scene that took your breath away. What made it so special and unforgettable?
We all have those moments where we're simply awestruck by nature's beauty.
We do.
A stunning sunset, a majestic mountain range, even just a field of wildflowers, those experiences touch our souls. They remind us of the power of nature to inspire awe and wonder.
This one really resonated with me. What lessons has nature taught you? Reflect on how observing the natural world has shaped your outlook on life. It's incredible how much wisdom nature has to offer.
Nature is a constant source of inspiration and guidance.
It is.
Resilience, adaptation, the cyclical nature of life and death, lessons that can profoundly impact our lives.
I'm really appreciating how these prompts encourage us to engage with nature on all these levels. Observation, sensory experience, emotional connection, and reflection. It's like a holistic approach to connecting with ourselves and the natural world.
Beautifully said. As we wrap up this section, I'm curious which prompts resonated most with you. What are you most eager to try out in your own nature journaling?
Ooh, that's a tough one. There are so many good ones. I think I'm drawn to the prompts that really tap into my creative side. Like imagining the world from an animal's perspective or describing a scene that just took my breath away. They kind of challenge me to see things in new ways. How about you? What are you drawn to?
I think for me, it's the prompts that really invite that deeper reflection on nature's lessons. Like, how does nature teach you about patience and perseverance? Or what does nature mean to you? These questions that encourage us to move beyond just observation and engage with nature on a more philosophical level.
Yeah, those are really powerful prompts. It's like turning nature into this wise teacher, offering insights that we can apply to our own lives.
Yeah.
As we've been talking about these prompts, it's really struck me that nature journaling isn't just about the physical act of writing. It's about cultivating a certain mindset,
Mm-hmm.
a mindset of curiosity, mindfulness, and appreciation for the world around us.
That's a beautiful way to put it. It's about slowing down, paying attention, and connecting with nature in a deeper, more meaningful way. And the best part is, it's accessible to everyone.
Right.
You don't need any special skills or fancy equipment, just a journal, a pen, and an open mind.
Exactly. Whether you're exploring a bustling city park or a remote wilderness area, nature's full of endless opportunities for exploration and discovery.
Absolutely. And as we wrap up our deep dive into nature journaling, I want to leave you with this thought. If you're feeling a little overwhelmed by all these prompts, just pick one, just one that speaks to you. Spend some time outdoors. And let your observations and reflections just flow onto the page. There's no right or wrong way to do it.
That's great advice. Just relax, embrace the process, and enjoy the journey. Who knows, you might uncover a whole new side of yourself and the world around you.
Well, it's been a pleasure exploring the world of nature journaling with you today. Hopefully, you're feeling inspired to grab a journal and pen and head outdoors.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive. We'll see you next time as we explore another fascinating topic. Until then, happy journaling.